I said before the break that we would have our good friend, Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, hanging out with us for a bit this morning. And I could talk to her for a long time about all that's going on. But Kate, I will say good morning and welcome to you and welcome to the show. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Richard, I'm hanging in there. It's been a wild year.
Man. It's been a wild year. I know. We face plan on this. What I've tried to do the past couple of days is have some fun in the serious moments. And I know you do this so much with the elbows deep work that you do when it comes to immigration. And, yesterday I asked about, what's your favorite president's movie given Monday's President's Day? Don't let this current occupant deter you from all the beauty of some great, president's movies and TV series. And so today I, tried to lean into that a little bit more. And because with what we're seeing right now, it's just flat out embarrassment. And, we're a year and a month into this presidency, and I don't even call it a presidency, this just awful display of disgustingness. Yeah. And yesterday was, and I don't know how much you watched, so I don't make any assumptions.
It was so horrible.
And you know what, Kate, here's the thing that I'm going to say, not to you, but to all of us. And I've been saying this in parts this morning. We should not look away from this, I believe, any more than we should look away from what happened to our sister, Miss Good, up in Minneapolis, or our brother, Mr. Preddy, or any other folks that have been harmed or lost their lives as a result. We shouldn't look away from this stuff. And what happened yesterday, we also shouldn't look away from. I was absolutely, I think the low point for me, as I said earlier in the show, was when Pam Bondi went after Congresswoman Becca Balint about indirectly tried to make a point about her heritage and, with a member of her family having been lost during the Holocaust.
Oh, my gosh, I didn't hear that part.
You got to watch it. And when you watch it, don't have anything in your hand. Don't have any shoes nearby. Don't have any dumbbells nearby, because you might throw something. It was horrible. It was the low point for me. But there are some high points with regard to Democrats being ready to come to the fight, which they've oftentimes been accused of not doing, but they were yesterday, in my observation. So I don't think we can look away. But what's on your mind in that space?
It was an embarrassment, and that anyone would go before Congress and behave like that and talk to them like that is shocking. And especially the Attorney General. It's just so shocking. But the fact that she was flailing and freaking out and literally looked like a toddler throwing a temper tantrum in the middle of the grocery aisle. That is what she was up to. And my sense is that when people behave in that way, they're scared because they know they're losing power or they don't have power. And so to me, it was just an indication of the weakness of her position actually right now. But ultimately, all of this stuff is so embarrassing. And you see it, at the Olympics and the way that our country is being received and all of that. But then we have the high point of the Super Bowl, and I'm still watching that and, clips of that over and over again.
That's what a lot of people are saying now about the halftime show where, all this garbage that was out there about and coming from some people who just don't have any more credibility in corporate media and other places on the right. But it was such a just example of us as a society and what we can do when we come together and just go, yeah, the guy down the street or the lady down the street, because they look different from me or sound different from me. And this is the thing I always come back to, Kate. And I don't talk about religion a lot. I mentioned some things. I share maybe some personal thoughts every now and then, but I'm not advocating one way or the other. But if a person subscribes or ascribes to a certain amount of, quote, Christianity or all God's children, then you can't legitimately in your heart live in a way that says the others are awful, disgusting, bad people. You can't there's no congruency there. Mm-hmm. And you, as first and foremost, a wonderful human being that happens to be a wife and a mom and an attorney, know you see some of the worst things happen to people that, if we're all God's children, that shouldn't be happening to them. But you see it in the work that you do, and share some of your thoughts about Richard's complex thought about this.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking about as you're talking? I had the great honor and pleasure last night to go see Justice Sonia Sotomayor. And she wrote a book. She's Puerto Rican. And she wrote a book about her mom, Selena. And it's called Just Shine. And it's the story of her mom and how kind she was, how kind and good she was, and how important it is in this life to be kind and good. And I got to talk to her. I got to hear her speak. And it was so uplifting just to see her. And I loved what she did. She had kids submit their questions. And all the kids got to come up and ask their questions and hug her. And she said, you're the gas in my gasoline tank. I want all the kids to come up and give me hugs. And it was so uplifting. And when I went up to her afterward, I said, we need your help. We need your help getting all these immigrants out of detention. And she said, I know you do. I know. And bless you for the work that you're doing. So, I mean, that, the Super Bowl, the good parts of religion, these are the things that or the halftime show, we have to carry these, like she said, the gasoline in our tank, and carry them in our hearts. And the good, I mean, when you think about what happened to Renee, Nicole Good, and Alex Preddy, and Keith Porter, and then you think about all the helpers and the way that Minnesota showed up, and what Mr. Rogers says about looking for the helpers, and how many people there are right now in unity about how much we need to just love each other and celebrate each other. That's what I'm choosing to look for in because there's lots of darkness, of course. And so I don't know, I see goodness all around me right now, and that is keeping me afloat.
Well, I will thank you for sharing that and reminding us of that, because that's extraordinarily important. I think that's what was probably on my heart when I said, let's talk about, well, let me give credit. One of our listeners from Ohio said to me, hey, what about making sure that people don't let the presidency be turned into something ugly when we all celebrate President's Day and a number of other great presidents. And I thought, yeah, he's right about that. And so I had a little bit of fun with that yesterday, like I said, about movies and shows and that you've watched that have been inspiring to you when it comes to the presidency, or just movies that you like. Because I'm trying to find, and they're easy to find, actually, the silver linings. It's not even the silver linings. It's just the great things that we're all doing. It's a great energy. Bad Bunny's halftime performance was a perfect example of that. And I was just saying to one of the engineers here, Mike Mercado, that the scene with the baby has been like a massive, just huge thing that a lot of people didn't understand. But what I see, the inspirational piece of that is, we all love babies. We all connect, whether we have children or not. And that, to me, crosses all demographic, social, economic, cultural lines. That's a moment that we all have experienced, because we were all with babies at one point. I know that sounds goofy as hell, but I love how Mike, he reminded us here in the station, and saw how so many people are seeing that as one of the bright spots of the halftime show. Yeah, you mean the kiddo that was sleeping on the chairs? Yeah, in the middle of the wedding. Yeah, right. So many people resonated with that. In fact, I saw a video of a group that was watching the show, and before you even pan to that kid, somebody said, all they're missing is a kid sleeping on the wedding chairs. Then you see the kid, and the whole room just erupted. It's like, it was such a moment. And I've been seeing a lot of videos of Latinos and old men, men in their 80s, just crying at the recognition and just the message of that show. It really cannot be overstated how important and needed that message was for so many people in this country right now. And what's shocking to me is that there are two camps about this show, and forgive me if you've already spent time talking about this, and I keep bringing it up.
But you're either in the camp where you didn't understand the words and you don't like it and like arms crossed, or you're in the camp of we are all one and how awesome is this and shouldn't we just celebrate and have joy? And we literally have a choice, an actual choice about which path we're going to go down. And why on earth would you choose anything but joy and celebration? It's like, let's just do that.
That's right.
Can we?
No, Kate, we can talk about that for 24 hours because that's where we should be. So it doesn't matter if I've talked about it before or not, because that's where we say we should be. But to your point, and this is where, I draw the line with folks. You're either with them or you're with us. There's no longer there's no gray area if people don't recognize that there is that. And it's hard to say that, or maybe not hard to say, but it's one of those things that you don't want to have to say, but we do have to say it. And that's why I said we can't look away from these moments right now. If you, as an everyday person, one of the callers that called before you came on said, Richard, right now, if they're choosing, and he was talking about not just members of Congress, but everyday folk, if they're choosing to still support this carnage, then you're not with us. So what we have to do is rally in the immigration conversation, in the economics conversation, in the voting conversation, in all arenas. We have to rally people together so that we fix this, because otherwise we won't have those moments like Bad Bunny brought to us this past Sunday at the halftime show. But I can't get away from one of my favorite peoples, and that's you, because of the hard work that you do. And you're on the ground, as I say, sleeves rolled up, elbows deep in this. And I know that you've got a lot that we could talk about, but give me some updates. I know that you've got your campaign that you're leaning into, which is important to the state, and it's important to all of us. How is that going right now, Kate?
It's going great. Our primary is March 3rd. So I'm almost there, but there are 6 of us in the race. And if one of us doesn't win with more than 50% of the vote, we'll go into a runoff. So a runoff is likely, but I'm getting so much positive response from the voters. And I did secure a critical endorsement from the Austin American-Statesman this week, which is our big paper. And that's a really thoughtful and reasoned endorsement. I mean, this is something that's interesting and, maybe unexpected is, to the conversation around the need for unity. One of the things that has surprised me on the campaign trail during a primary season is the way that the Democratic Party pushes its own self toward division. And this is, there's a lot of people do individual endorsements and club endorsements. And one of the things that has really surprised me, I'm running for the Texas House of Representatives, so I'm doing a lot of local politics, is the way that people within the Democratic Party pick and choose and kind of go at each other. And it is erosive. And it is unhelpful, and it's actually something, right now I'm in the middle of a campaign and it's not worth it for me to focus on that issue, but it is something that I intend to talk about, because I don't think we're doing ourselves any favors in the Democratic Party. And I mean, if you look at Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett running for Senate here in Texas, and even that race got a little funky recently, and it's just like to the Bad Bunny, to the halftime, like, are we the party of unity or are we not?
Yeah.
And let's make a choice here. Let's be the party of unity and stand together.
Kate, thanks for having the courage as a candidate to say that, because it is one of the things that a lot of people throughout the country in Democratic strongholds and in purple districts, that's being said, and it's being said quietly. But I think I understood you correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Fingers crossed you get the nomination, you win. When you're in the state house, you're going to, I'm assuming what you were saying is you're going to bring that as a conversation, maybe not publicly, but privately. We got to stop, knifing ourselves. No disrespect. Is that kind of what you were saying?
Definitely. I'm already drafting my op-ed, I mean, the thing about doing it as a candidate is it seems like it would be received as self-serving.
Self-serving, right.
Like, oh, you just want, more endorsements or whatever. And that's frank. I actually have not asked for one single individual endorsement for this reason, but I've watched the way it has broken apart alliances and friendships and groups, and it has brought in toxicity. And then what happens after the primary? One of the horses wins, but then there's all this fallout from the way that people picked and chose.
Yeah.
Through the primary. It's unhelpful. And it doesn't, ultimately, what are we doing here with endorsements? We're trying to help the voters make decisions. So if that's the end goal, let's do that instead. Let's not do, only pick one of your friends and upset all the other ones. Let's do, hey, more opportunities to demonstrate who the candidates are and talk about who they are and what the differences are without endorsing, Anyway, it's kind of, it's weird. It's in the weeds, and it's something that we don't talk about a lot. But I really am noticing on the inside for the first time how unhelpful it is to the party. And if it's happening here in Travis County in the middle of Texas, it's happening all over this country at every local, state, and federal level. And we need to stop it. It's not helping our party.
At all. And many would say that we go back to the 2024 national election. And certainly there was that element there deep when it came to President Biden stepping down and how that all, fell out. And the crazy part about it is no matter how someone feels about if he should have left earlier, if he should have left at all, whatever. Ultimately, this is one of those things that, take this the right way, respectfully. You're a Southern-esque girl, and Mama always said, "Don't air your laundry in public." And so, right? Is that a fair?
Yeah.
So we got to stop I've been saying this for a long time. We have to stop airing our laundry in public because it gives the Republicans stuff that they need. My mother used to say, "The stick to hit you with." So we have to stop doing that. And public is any place where somebody that sees it can take advantage of it. So I'm with you on that. I'm strongly with you on that. And I'm going to keep speaking to it as well because we have to stop doing it. It doesn't mean we don't call out bad behavior or things that are not working. That's different. But it means we can't do it in public. We have to do it behind closed doors. We have to fix those creases. And if we're going to pick sides for all of us rather than a segment of the internal machine of the Democratic Party. Anyhow, I'm with you on that. Keep it simple as I can.
And, I think what we're missing is a sense of belonging too. As Democrats, it's like the Republicans clearly have that. Just look at Turning Point,
Yeah.
And on our side, we don't. And we could have such a long conversation about this too, but I think we ought to have we all belong. Every one of us belongs in this party, and the sense of inclusion and invitation and welcoming. But instead, I think we have a lot of our own sort of debate and infighting, and it makes people feel like they're on the outside. In politics, a lot feels a little bit like a, middle school recess situation. And let's not do that. Look what it's done to us. Let's be the party of belonging somehow. Anyway, these are fresh thoughts for me on the campaign trail, but we are due for an overhaul, I think, in this realm.
Yeah. Kate, here's the thing. We're going to run out of time. So what I want you to do is look at your calendar and let's figure out how to get you back on in the next couple of weeks before the month is out. And the reason I want to do that and say it now is that we've got some other deep issues to talk about. I'm not even going to introduce them because I know you and I will, we want to go down that path the right way. So let's do that because there's some things that are going on with immigration that we should talk about. There's some things that are going on with economics and immigration that we should talk about. But I don't want to leave this moment of, like you said at the top, about finding the joy. You're running for an office. It's an important seat. You're going to be working with some extraordinary Texas state politicians if you were to win. So let me ask you that hard question. Maybe it's a hard question. What's going to be that thing that you say, this is mine? I'm running this particular issue now that I'm in the state Senate.
Oh, thank you for asking that. And it will not surprise you to hear that for me, it's going to be immigration and the security and unity of families. and not just immigrants, but people of color in the state of Texas, because we have racial profiling going on, that state troopers authorized by Greg Abbott to go after people. The Supreme Court has told ICE they can racially profile. The sheriffs have to cooperate with ICE. The police departments have to cooperate on some level with ICE. And people forget about immigration during session because it's a hard and divisive issue. And my commitment, my promise to the people of Texas is that I will never, ever look away or forget about immigration as an issue. It's always going to be top of mind for me. And what that means is that families in Texas, regardless of where they're from or what they look like or any of that, that they feel safe to go out on the streets and send their kids to school and go to the hospital and go to church and all of the things that they need to do. So that's my commitment. And that's what I'm after.
Who do you have, or who do you believe you have as allies that are elected officials right now when it comes to being able to continue to do that work once you are elected?
There are a lot of the Democratic caucus will definitely be allies on this, and we're in a dust up because we have James Tallarico, my rep, running for Senate. Gina Hinojosa is running for governor. So a lot of the Democratic sort of strongholds within the Texas House are leaving, and so we're in this. Actually, look, I have this Austin Chronicle right here, and it says musical chairs at the Texas House of Representatives.
Wow.
So that's what's happening. It's like, oh, we're all changing around. And so that's one of the reasons I'm running. I'm like, we got to get someone like me in there to at least make sure we've got some immigration expertise.
Yeah. And that's something that all across the country now, that's what's being asked for is, do we have the legal expertise, the legal minds that understand what the laws are on the books currently and then what needs to be changed. And you've definitely been at the forefront of that. Like I said, look at your calendar and let's make sure that we get you back on soon, because I do want to talk about some of the things that are happening with ICE specifically, and more broadly, some of the reports that have come out on the economics of immigration in the country, because I think that's something that a lot of people, they hear it peripherally, or that it's something that kind of flies by, but we haven't really kind of dove into some of the details. So I'd love to have you back in a little bit of time and talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, spoiler alert, immigrants are really good for the economy.
That's what, Kate, don't tell anybody. I heard the same thing. Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, y'all. How can they find you and help out with your campaign, no matter where they are on the planet?
Thank you. I'm at KLG4 Texas, FOR Texas on Instagram.
Fantastic. Kate, thanks for being with us this morning. Stay safe, stay proud, and stay full of joy. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you, Richard. Have a great day.